there! My name is Mike Munzing with CRESTLINE Funding. I bring these videos to you to keep you, the realtor, informed. You can pass them on to your friends in the office and your clients. It's time again for the foreclosure report. Each month I bring these to you, and in this case, it's for the month of November 2009. But first, I want to quickly touch real quickly on the rates for the week. They got a little bit better this week. You can go to my website at mikemunzing.com. You print up the website, you take it with you to the open houses. Look around my website while you're there. You can get a good feel for what's going on. I got some great flyers, great tools, great things for you to use, but go do that. Okay, I'm going to bring up here on the screen is a snapshot of Foreclosure Radar's report. Each month, I've been doing this for over a year with Sean O'Toole's report. You can bring that up, you can print it. It also is on my website. You may want to pause this video, go to the site, print the report, and have it with you when we go through it. We're going to run through it really quick, kind of go through some highlights, some things that are happening that we need to cover. Okay, a couple of highlights for the month that we're finding. Overall, foreclosure numbers are trailing down again. We've had those numbers looking really high a year ago, and then with all of the government intervention, the stuff here in California, the federal government, Obama's administration, they are bringing those numbers down, and that is continuing to happen as well this month. And let's take a look at some of the charts, and then I'm going to cover the highlights at the very end of the video. Okay, let's run through these charts now. As you can see on the chart, this is the notice of defaults for the month. This is that initial stage of the filing where some folks are maybe 90 days late or more on their mortgage, and the lender is able to file for the notice of default to start the foreclosure process. As you can see, we've been having a trailing down at the right side of the screen there on the chart, the trailing down to a 29,597 properties for the month of November. That's an 18.98% drop from the previous month. Okay, now we're going to look at the notice of trustee sale. That is the second filing. It's usually about 180 days. It used to be 90. They extended it out to about 180 days. That's when the lender actually files for the date that they're going to be having the foreclosure at. And that is for the month of November at 27,321. Also a drop of just under 30%. And some of these numbers are adjusted. As I'll mention at the end of the video here, there were less filing days in the month of November. There were 18 filing days in November. There were 22 filing days in October, which some of these numbers on a daily basis are not that much different, but because of the number of filing days, the numbers are a little more drastic here. Okay, next we have the chart for once the foreclosures have happened, how many of these properties actually went back to the banks. Didn't get sold to a third party. They actually went back to the banks. In this case, it's about 14,119 properties. That is also a drop of about 12.2% over October. And then next is the chart of how many properties were actually sold to third parties. That number dropped for the first time in quite some time. You can see the chart here. And that number dropped to a 3,676 properties. And that was a drop of about 7.43% from the previous month. Okay, next is the number of cancellations. Cancellations are once the property has been in the process to get canceled. Now this number is from the chart here. You'll see on the report it says its cancellations are up about 40%. That's interesting because the numbers that they have on the chart say up about 19%, but the numbers are up substantially. I'm going to cover that in just a minute. But to 10,469 properties were actually canceled where the banks were going for fully through the process, had delayed, had held off, but just hadn't foreclosed yet. And now, as you can see, they canceled. Okay, this next chart is very interesting. This is the properties that are currently scheduled for sale. each month. That has been a growing number, as you can see from this chart, up and up and up. 151,573 properties at the end of November are currently scheduled for sale. It's only up about 1.5% from the previous month, but that number continues to climb. It's kind of a backlog of properties that it will at some point will either be canceled or will finally go to foreclosure. And finally, it's the number of properties. Now this is a little, I mean, it's good because the banks aren't holding as many properties, and but it's purely a calculation that Sean's done over their foreclosure radar. Nobody's actually giving away these numbers, but he's doing the calculations. How many properties have sold, how many have been taken back in foreclosure. So this is the estimated number of properties currently held by the banks that need to be sold. They're in their inventory. They're REO properties that haven't hit the market yet, haven't hit the streets, and that for all of California is about 87,976 properties. It's another slight decrease from the previous month. And boy, would we love to see those properties on the streets here in the coming year. That being said, I do want to touch a little bit on the properties. The banks do still have some of those properties in their inventories. I've been still hearing rumors that until the end of the year, they've been keeping them on the books, so they're not realizing the losses on those. And we are all hoping that for 2010, those properties will be coming into the market and will be going to availability for us to find our buyers and go get those properties. There are not that many properties on the market here for the month. I think it was about 7,500 here in Orange County. Stephen Thomas put his report out the other day. A couple of things that are going on, though. The biggest thing, once again, I mentioned the number of filing days, 18 versus 22 the previous month. That skewed the numbers as a whole for the month. On a day-by-day basis, they're not quite as drastic. But the big thing is the Obama administration and it's the Home Affordable Modification Program. We call it HAMP. That program has been definitely holding off the foreclosures. Now, how long the government can hang in there, lowering rates to 2%, doing some crazy loan modifications to keep people in their homes, that's a question mark. They do those on a temporary basis, and then at some point those become permanent, or they swing back and go to foreclosure. When they go to permanent basis, that's when the lender can cancel the foreclosure. So that's why on the numbers here on the report, it does mention that that's up potentially about 40%. So some of the properties get canceled if they don't go to foreclosure. Well, I hope that helps. We'll see what happens in the coming year. It's been pretty quiet there in the foreclosure side of things. Hey, we're heading into the holidays. This is probably my last video prior to the holidays. I hope you have a wonderful Christmas. I've got my Christmas Tabasco tie on that I only get to wear a couple times a year. It's been a wonderful Christmas season. Went to the little Christmas realtor party there at the board on Monday, and that was great, seeing a bunch of my old friends there. You guys may have been there yourself, but life is good. 2009 is coming to a close. I know it's been a rough year for a lot of us. We're working harder than ever. I know I am. I'm here for you. I know you're working hard. And let's pull for 2010. You know I'm here to work with you. I'm coming up with nice things on my websites and great flyers, tools, spreadsheets, videos. I'm doing the viral marketing. I'm here to help you guys too. If you have questions on that, give me a call. I'm here to help. So finally this weekend, I'll be around. I'll be working. If you meet any new buyers, there's some new buyers out there in the streets that just want to get rolling before the end of the year and get things going because of the $8,000 credit. Give me a call, 949-689-5626. Once again, I'm Mike Munzing. I'm with a direct lender by the name of CRESTLINE Funding Corporation in Irvine. My office is down here in San Clemente. Bring it up behind me. If you're in the area, if you're on El Camino Real down here, come and see me. I'd love to say hello. We'll walk down, get a cup of coffee at Starbucks. Be fun to see. So take care. God bless you. God bless your family. God bless our country at this point. It's a crazy time. And have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
This is the house we used to live in. This is a place I used to know. This is the house we